Hello and welcome to the first episode connected by the map. Also united by the map. We use this interchangeably, but the name of our channel is Connected by the Map. I'm Gus, your jovial Pole.
I'm Grzegorz.
I have some Scottish roots, but let's not go too deeply into that.
Polish guy.
Well, it's nothing better about being Polish. How are you today, Grzegorz?
Oh, I'm perfect. You know why? Because it's at 24 degrees.
24 degrees
It's
outside.
just rain, but it doesn't matter. It's Scotland.
So it's one of the unique moments where we here in Scotland said it's fine when it's raining. So we're completely debunking the myth that it has to not rain.
Storm.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So it's good. So shall we look at the map?
Which map?
Great Polish map of Scotland.
Yeah, the great Polish map of Scotland, which is on Radością.
Yep.
You have to see this.
Let's look at Clan now.
Okay, bye. Eight claps.
That was Jan Tomasik, wasn't it?
Yes, Jan Tomasik. He was the owner of the Barony Castle.
Yeah. Wasn't he a Polish soldier?
Yeah, he was a Polish soldier on a Maciek army.
Okay. I think we're going to talk about it later in the program with Keith, so
yes,
stay
that's
tuned.
right.
Now, Grzesiek, would you like to see your mini event
I know
we
what
just
will
finished?
be next. So, next will be the event which was on the 2nd June in Barony Castle in Edelstone. There was the Mappa event.
Okay, let's watch the Mappa event now.
Here.
W kategorii 2024 piknik łączy nas w mapach wydaje się być dotychczas zwycięzcą.
każde miejsce ma coś wyjątkowego. Są też takie miejsca, które mają te rzeczy w wyjątkowym stopniu. To, że jest tutaj wyjątkowa mapa Szkocji, że ma ona związek z Polską, jest czymś szczególnie dla nas ważnym i wyjątkowym. I to, że spotkaliśmy się tutaj z wyjątkowym przyjęciem, a także, jak już żona mówiła, z wyjątkowymi ludźmi, którzy swoją aktywnością, umiejętnością organizacji sprawili, że to jest tak znakomite.
Jak to jest możliwe, że tyle tysięcy kilometrów od domu, ja się czuję jak u siebie. Było super, bardzo dziękuję za zaproszenie.
That was something, Grzegorz, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was quite a party you organized. A couple of thousand of people?
Yeah, I think 3,000, something
Oh, you're
like
so
this.
modest.
We tried to count on it, video on a drone, and was 3,000 around.
3,000. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's like a
that's
football
amazing.
match.
Yeah, that's something I like. A football
yeah.
match. That was a proper football match.
Oh, like today, Polish,
Yeah.
Poland and France today.
Yeah, that's
play?
today.
This
That's
match?
today. But we're not watching.
Ah,
that.
yeah.
They,
Doesn't matter.
they need to redeem themselves by at least drawing with France. Then we'll keep on watching them again.
We will see.
But Grzegorz, you told me that there was something on the, like at the end, something like a discussion or debate. I don't know. Not everyone went there.
Yes, on the end was the debate. Yeah, but I think that was good. What do you think about this? You've been
Was it
there.
a little bit boring.
No, it's not boring. I think you have to watch this.
You think so?
Yeah,
It's
I
in
think
Polish.
You have to as well.
Yeah, it's in Polish, but will our budget take the subtitles?
I know, but there were Polish guests, so we have to talk sometimes about Polish topics.
Okay, so you think that the budget will take it. All right, folks, whether you like it or not, let's watch it now.
Yeah, see you.
Jakie są główne wyzwania społeczne, z którymi spotykają się Polacy na emigracji? Może zacznę od pani doktor Anastazji.
Wyzwanie, to myślę, że może zamienimy to na szansę. Czy tak mogłabym odpowiedzieć? Bo można też spojrzeć na sprawę z całkiem drugiej strony, prawda? Ponieważ ta nasza polska imigracja do Wielkiej Brytanii już można powiedzieć jest dość stara, jest dojrzała, już wypracowaliśmy sobie pewną pozycję i myślę, że to jest wielka szansa dla nas, żebyśmy wyszli z naszą polskością na zewnątrz, prawda? Czyli żeby takie wspaniałe imprezy jak dzisiaj przyciągały również Brytyjczyków. Żeby można było pochwalić się tym, co mamy najpiękniejsze, żebyśmy mogli pokazać, począwszy od tego chyba co najszybciej trafia do serca, nasze wspaniałe jedzenie, naszą sztukę, naszą kulturę i tak, żebyśmy mogli łączyć te dwie kultury, bo myślę, że mamy naprawdę bardzo wiele wspólnego.
Ja bym to jednak nazwała wyzwaniem to, co czeka rodziców i co czeka tego nastolatka, który on wchodzi w okres dorastania i kiedy zaczyna mu się formować jego poczucie własnej wartości, samoocena i również jego tożsamość narodowa, kulturowa. Tu mieliśmy przykład wspaniały, okazji do tego, żeby ta tożsamość się wykrystalizowała i szła w tym torze, ale z praktyki i z literatury wiemy, że to nie jest takie proste, zwłaszcza wtedy, kiedy dziecko jest rzeczywiście między kulturami i kiedy nie ma, tak powiedziałabym, spójnego otoczenia językowo.
Żeby znaleźć taki element opowiadania historii, jakiejkolwiek historii, który będzie elementem wspólnym, dzięki któremu dziecko zostanie zrozumiane przez innych. Ponadkulturowe. A ta superbohaterskość, nie wiem, czy takie słowo funkcjonuje, już tak. Ta superbohaterskość jest uniwersalnym językiem. Ona jest rozumiana niezależnie od tego, czy mówi się o niej w Stanach, czy mówi się o niej w Ameryce Południowej, czy w kraju arabskim. Więc to jest moje doświadczenie, żeby poszukiwać jakiejś takiej platformy, chociaż kawalątka, na której ta reszta może, na który to kawalątek ta reszta może wejść i powiedzieć: okej, rozumiem Cię, dlaczego jesteś dumny?
Właśnie, to może dobre pytanie, co profesor o tym myśli, jak wygląda nasz język, słyszy profesor nasz język polski tutaj.
Nie można uogólniać. Państwo oczekują ocen raczej niż refleksji, bo na refleksję za mało czasu, a na oceny za mało doświadczenia. Pocieszmy się tym, że wciąż najlepiej po polsku mówią Polacy.
Ja myślę, że to jest doskonałe podsumowanie naszej dzisiejszej dyskusji. Dziękuję wszystkim bardzo za udział w naszej debacie i dziękuję wszystkim naszym przemiłym gościom za udział tutaj z nami w debacie. That was something.
I told you. That was good.
Let's say relatively okay.
Please. That was amazing, you know. What was I guess? Brauczyk, Rożek, Bauer,
And
Kierwill.
Kierwill, yeah, that's okay. I was there as well, so I recall now. I haven't blacked it out.
I've been there, and you've been there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's not enough for you.
Yeah, it was a good debate. At the same time, I think we forgot that we have a guest of honor today, Keith, that we would like to present to you right now. Do you like Keith? I know you like him, so don't do it that way. But, yeah.
Personally, which I can listen to him and listen to him. He's a perfect guy.
We have a surprise for you because Keith is going to tell us a little story how he fell into the map, which was completely covered by bushes about 30 years ago, and that's how the story started. And now,
You have to listen to Keith.
Hello, Keith. It's great to meet you. Thank you. So, we were just talking. You started to say, like, how did you got acquainted with the map?
Yeah. Well, that's very straightforward. It was in 1996 or 97. Energy production, electricity production in the UK was privatised. Big change for the industry. I was employed by the nuclear power operator in Scotland at the time.
Terry Pratchett became a book writer about that time.
Anyway, we had a conference at the hotel to discuss how we were going to privatise the industry. I'd never been to this hotel before. I'd never been to the village of Edelston before. I arrived on a beautiful spring morning at this hotel. It was all new to me. And because I'd arrived early and it was a superb spring morning, I went for a walk in the woods. Beautiful grounds, rather neglected, but very pretty. And I walked into a clearing in the trees and almost fell over a wall. There was a pit in the ground, full of undergrowth, bushes and long grass and plants. And I almost fell down this pit wall. I noticed that there was an old rusted pipe sticking out to the side of the wall. And I thought, it looks like what could be an old water storage reservoir for the village.
Right.
And I was wandering around scratching my head, looking at this curved wall. In the bushes, I could see what appeared to be bedrock on the ground. After walking around half the circumference of this big circular pit, I saw a shape in the bedrock that looked like a piece of the Scottish coastline, the peninsula, called the Mole of Galloway. And I thought, I must be imagining things. You know, some people see an image of Christ in burnt toast, that kind of thing.
That's quite.
I thought, yeah, that looks like the Mole of Galloway, but that's my overactive imagination. But I jumped down the wall thinking, well, if that shape in the rock is the Mole of Galloway, which it can't be, if I walk northwest I would find an island that I know called Arran. And I walked through the bushes and found the Isle of Arran. Not only the Isle of Arran, but a glen I'm familiar with and a mountain that I've climbed. And to cut a long story short, 10 minutes later, I had identified Ben Lomond and walked over to Glencoe, climbed Ben Nevis, and gone all the way to Cape Wrath and found the northern tip of Scotland. To my amazement, what I seemed to be walking over was a three-dimensional model of Scotland. That's not a small three-dimensional model of Scotland. 60 metres from south to north, 40 metres from east to west. I looked at my watch and realised I was late for the start of our day's proceedings. Dashed back to the hotel and started telling all my colleagues what I'd just discovered in the woods. But we had to get on to business for the day, privatising nuclear power.
Yes.
So
That's listening first, right?
yeah, at coffee break, I went to the reception desk and asked, could anyone tell me about the three-dimensional model in the woods? No one at the hotel could tell me anything about it. Not only that, they didn't even know what I was talking about.
Oh, so
No one at the hotel could give me any of at all. It took me quite a long time I became obsessed with this because I thought, when you look at the size of this model, the creative effort that has gone into designing it and then building it is astonishing. I've never seen anything like it anywhere before.
must have taken quite an effort.
And yet nobody knows how it came to be here. Many weeks later, I actually found a guy in Edinburgh who knew something about it. This was David Cameron, who was one of our trustees. He was
Not that David Cameron.
No, not that level. A more important one, as far as I was concerned. David, by profession, he was retired at the time. He was in his mid-60s, I suppose then. He was a city planner by profession, and he had been to a conference in the 1990s that set off the discussions to twin the city of Krakow with the city of Edinburgh.
Right.
They are twin cities now. And at that conference, he met a geographer from Krakow University called Kazimierz Trafas. This geographer, who at the time was a senior academic at Krakow University, I met his wife 2 months ago, in fact, but he has since died. Kazimierz Trafas was a young geography student studying cartography, and this was in the early 1970s, and he had been procured by a Polish veteran soldier who settled in Edinburgh after the war, a guy called Jan Tomaszek.
The creator of the map.
Jan Tomaszek, who subsequently bought the hotel, who was a soldier in General Maciek's 1st Polish Armoured Division. He had bought the Barneycastle Hotel. And General Maciek settled in Edinburgh as well after the war. And at the time, we, with this knowledge, we immediately jumped to what seemed like a blindingly obvious conclusion that turned out to be totally wrong. We also had discovered that Varney Castle Hotel was taken over in the early days of the war to use as a staff training college for Polish officers, because over 20,000 Polish soldiers had arrived from southern France as France was being overrun by the Germans at the time. And the hotel was taken over to be used to train Polish officers who were going to be part of the
Polish Eagle.
Exactly. Yeah. So we, including me, jumped to blinding the obvious conclusion that when the hotel was being used as a Polish officers' training camp, they must have built this map because soldiers build models to rehearse their battle tactics on. So quite clearly, this map had been built by these Polish officers during the war. We spent a long time having come to this wrong conclusion, starting up the charity and beginning to collect money. In fact, I think we had collected over £15,000 before that the story we based our charity appeal on was sort of wrong. But in fact, one of my trustees at the time threw himself in a panic because he said, "We're going to have to give all this money back because we think we're charged with fraud because we've got the wrong story." I said, "Well, no, wait a minute. If you're a historian, you make mistakes and then you correct them. So all we need to do is find out the correct history and we'll slowly steer in the right direction. But we don't want to get the money back. That would be terrible. We'd have to get it altogether." And that's what we did. And we discovered that Jan Tomaszek had made contact with a senior academic at Krakow University called Klimaszewski, who got all his names, Christian. He had government connections and managed to procure talented young geography student to recruit some of his mates in the department. And this was before in the days of the Cold War, and we still had the Iron Curtain at the time. But somehow Klimaszewski managed to arrange transit visas for them to come over to Scotland to design and build this map. And that was in 1975. Not during the war. It took us years to get round to the correct story.
Eventually you did.
But eventually we did.
How did you manage to clean up all of these bushes? Was it just a volunteer effort? Or?
Yeah. My interest at the time was technical. I'm an engineer. I knew nothing about Poland. At the time, if you'd asked me what I could tell you about Poland, I would say, well, the capital is Warsaw. It's somewhere in the middle of Europe, and I think it's got a Baltic coastline, and there's a city called Gdansk, I think, on the Baltic coast. It's got some mountains called the Tatars. And at that, I think, I sometimes get a feeling these days that I know more about Polish history than I do about Scottish history, all because of the map.
That's what we say, that connected by the map, or united by the history.
Exactly, yeah. And having realised that all this creative effort by a bunch of young Polish students who'd come halfway across Europe to build this map, and now it's lying abandoned and nobody knows anything about it, we've got to save it. And this is back to our theme. We must not forget history. This is an emblem, a totem, that historically is a very important part of the connection between Poland and Scotland during the Second World War. So going back to the early days of the Industrial Revolution, ultimately, when we were trading with the Gdansk between.
That was Keith. Isn't he a great guy?
Yeah, that's a great guy. So you can say some things about Keith and this material on the comment?
Yeah. Leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment.
We'll ask you for more in a moment. But now, connected by the map? Connected by the map. All right, and remember to like, subscribe, and watch out for more. Like, and subscribe.
So we are in a beautiful place, Loch
Leven.
Leven.
Mhm.
And can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you know what the Great Polish Map of Scotland is?
No, I don't.
So, if you could imagine, what do you think it could be?
The Great Polish Map of Scotland.
Yeah.
With tourist points, or I'm not sure I understand the question.